Hey guys, so it's time for another Art Addicts Alliance video, and this is for the month of April. So for this month's theme, we decided to do challenge, and the idea is that each of us would get to choose our own challenge and then do it, I guess. So it would all be based around what we found challenging or what we feel like we're weakest at, and we could make it our own. And looking back, I kind of wish I would have maybe made this a little bit more intensive or extensive in the sense that maybe I should have done just more of it, because I feel like I gleaned some information from doing this, but I feel like maybe I could have done a little bit more. But anyway, to really fit into the theme of challenge. But yeah, so what I chose for this was to do a couple of gouache paintings of buildings, and buildings and like vehicles or anything like that is something that I'm really weak in. Something that requires, like, you know, quite a bit of perspective knowledge and like a lot of straight lines and things of that nature. So I did take it sort of easy on myself in the sense that I chose to do, like, the first one here is of a cottage, and it's just kind of straight on, and I've done like some little brush pen studies of things I've seen on Pinterest, and I decided to make something kind of in the spirit of that. So this is my own creation. It's not like a copied photo, although I did kind of mix up some reference in order to have it look like something that could exist. But otherwise, everything here was pretty much out of my imagination. So just to talk about the first one, whenever I started laying down these colors, like some of these base colors, I was like, wow, this is hideously ugly and garish. It wasn't until I started going in with that second layer that everything started to actually start to look sort of appealing. What I've learned with gouache is sometimes, like, you just have to stick it out. Like, there is definitely an ugly phase that happens with it that can sometimes be hard to get through, because you're like, oh wow, I screwed it up. The colors are hideous, you know, especially since I went pretty thick pretty quick on this, because normally, like I've said in past gouache videos, that I was better off with going a little bit thin at first and then building up with thicker paint. But with this, I went thick pretty much right away, and it worked out fine. Just, you know, I was worried about it because I was like, wow, these are all really desaturated tones and they look kind of ugly. So to my palette, as you guys might know, I usually just use alizarin crimson, yellow ochre, and Payne's gray and white for my gouache paints. But for this, I added a lemon yellow and a peacock blue, because I knew that it's really hard to get like that's just automatically a very desaturated palette, and it's hard to like get brighter greens or anything like that, or brighter yellows. So I added those to it to brighten up certain areas. That's all there really is to say about it. I think this one's probably my favorite. I also didn't really do too much blending with this. I kind of just layered. That's what I did, where and I wanted a lot of my shadows to be rather intense. I tried to keep the lighting as consistent as I could. Also, I do know that, like, this building is a little lopsided. Like if you turn it upside down, you can definitely see it. And then, like, the fence is a little wonky too. But otherwise, I think it was a good experiment to do. Also, I apologize if, like, I'm moving around the paintings a lot in the frame. I didn't realize I was doing it whenever I was painting them, but with them being like 5x5, it was kind of kind of difficult. So the second one is actually the last one I sketched, but it's basically just of a corner of a Victorian building. And with this, I was trying to create like interesting compositions out of like but like just not as much information is kind of what I want to say. Like I wasn't drawing the whole building. I did want to draw one whole building in 2-point perspective, but that didn't really end up quite working out. So I just did like that one corner, and I saw these other paintings that someone else did where they were like they did something kind of similar to what I did for this one, only it was a little bit different, and I liked their color palette. And I didn't use their entire color palette, but I did take inspiration from that for like the color of the sky, and I don't think it worked quite as well for me as it did for them. There's not much to say about this one. This is probably my least favorite, simply because I just didn't care for too much for how it turned out. And for this one, I didn't mean to, but I blended a lot more with this one, so yeah. And for the third one, I don't know if I'm on it yet. I'm recording this before I've edited the video, but for the third one, this was like the most perspective intensive one, and it's not quite right. I know it's not, but I tried my best. And it's of us kind of like looking down to like, we're kind of like looking down into like a window, but also like the corner, not the corner of a building, but like just like down to the ground. We can see the edge of the building, and we can see sort of inside this window, and a bit of the focal point is the plants on the windowsill, but I'm not sure if, like, I don't think I maybe put quite enough emphasis on it whenever I was actually painting it. But yeah, so this was kind of somewhere between a little bit of a blended look and the layered look. I didn't care too much for how the grass turned out, for one thing. I also tried to make it that, like, it was all pretty much in shadow, because like, in my mind, I was thinking, well, okay, like, the building is, like, covering up the, is, like, creating, like, a bit of a cast shadow, and we can only see a little bit of, like, the sunlight in the corner. Maybe not necessarily the most realistic thing, I just thought it was more of an appealing thing. Yeah, there's not really anything to say about this one. I think I lost quite a bit of footage on this one. I know there was one of them that I really didn't get most of the painting on, and I think it might have been that one, but yeah, so I'm very interested to see what other people chose for their challenge, because this is something that is so unique to everybody individually. What they felt like they could really, what they felt like they could challenge themselves with, and how they decided to go about it. So I'm excited to see other people's videos. As of right now, nothing has been uploaded. Like, I'm recording this on the day it's supposed to go up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As I stated in my last Art Addicts Alliance video, we have several permanent member slots open. So feel free to shoot us an email, shoot us a message on Facebook. The link is always in the description of my Art Addicts Alliance videos, and as well as all the other member links, so make sure to go check them out. And yeah, we also have featured artist openings, so you can also message us about that if you're interested in that, if you want to participate, but not necessarily like every month. You just want to do it once, you know. Those are open. So I think that's it. I don't think we have a poll for next month. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.